friends. Welcome. Let me take up where I left off in a way from last week. Last week I was talking about contemplation and action. And I was speaking about a fear that I had. I had a fear of being incredibly present in one moment I had in the forest. And if you want to hear more about that, please go back and watch those videos. I very much felt a fear of ease last week when I became so present in the moment in my forest that I hit my scaredy pants point. And then I started to explore that idea of not being worthy of the incredible connection and beauty I was feeling. That was an even deeper fear, that I didn't feel worthy of this. And I thought, that is something really to explore, that feeling of unworthiness, because as many of you know, I am traveling in the dream arc with a guardian lion. And the lion is loving self-acceptance. That's what it represents. So how this works in my day-to-day life is that I pay attention to any issues that have to do with loving self-acceptance. So when I hit that level of not feeling worthy to be in the presence of such beauty and such connectedness, I knew that's something I needed to drill down even further into. So I went back to my trusty chart because I knew that now I had to look at it from the point of view of loving self-acceptance. Okay, so what fear is in the way of loving myself enough to want to be in the presence of ecstasy? What fear's in the way? And I went through my fear chart again, and the one that just leaped out at me was the scorpion. And that's Gene Key 51. And the scorpion is the fear of inferiority. So it took me a few days to decide if this was going to be a true quest. Was I in the healer's part of this dream arc? And that's what the scorpion is, a healer. Was I in the healer's part now? Was I officially here? And if so, what was I going to do to expand on this understanding from the scorpion? So I took a few days, and I thought, okay, so he's not. I don't think he's a passing animal, because I also have passing animals. Animals will come in and out, just giving me a message for the day or just for a few days. But is it an animal that I meant to work with for a while? That takes a little bit of intuitive knowing. So the scorpion has been activated. He is my next quest, and the scorpion is a healer. I have my lion and my scorpion, and the message is very familiar, isn't it? Loving self-acceptance, the fear of inferiority. There are a number of things in the dream arc to do once you've been chosen by whatever animal or group that you are meant to be in next, which to me obviously is the healers and the scorpion. You listen to Richard talk about the healers, then you listen to Rosie speak about the healers. And I actually skipped that part for now because I've heard them multiple times, and I understand more and more what the healers section is. And I know that each healer has a different kind of medicine. I went into the section called Dive In. And this is in the course of the dream arc. So the dive in section has a number of different symbolic icons there. And, I had been thinking, I wonder if I should be, I kind of want to work with all three of these animals with the scorpion, even though they're not all healers, That weasel, I think I want to work with the weasel. He's the hunter. And the condor, I think I really, really want to work with a condor. And I thought, maybe, do I even need to do the dive in, or should I just work with all three animals anyway? I can make up my mind what I do. This is my journey. This is my dream arc experience. However, I thought, I haven't done a dive in for a while. So what you're supposed to do with this dive in is there are all these little icons that have different symbols on them. And you're supposed to just let your heart pick which one you'd like to work with right now, right? Now, when you're in this grouping of the healers, or maybe you're in with the leapers, or maybe you're in with the changers, you can do many dive-ins. I've done as many as 4 at one right after another. I don't know what I'm going to do this time, but what I did do is let my heart lead me to which icon was speaking to me. So I clicked on it, and lo and behold, you know what it said? You're going to be working with all 3 of the animals, the trio of this healer. I thought, what? Oh, God, synchronicity in this work. It's like, yes, you're on the right path. Yeah, so I'm working with all 3 of these animals. And basically, Rosie Aronson has given us questions to ask. What you do is you read what the animal's message is, and then you ask yourself these questions in relationship to what the animal's message is. So, the very first question, however, is an interesting one. Is what is the essence of the healing I am really longing for? Now, obviously to me, I would guess you listening, you're saying, well, you're trying to heal your own inferiority. You're trying to heal your own esteem. Yes, I would agree with that. And that's very broad. Esteem in what area? How do you heal self-esteem? I think the scorpion. All right, so the scorpion talks about. Let me get my journal out. So the first thing I did was to make this art journal page in my journal for the scorpion and for entering the healers, right? And then I went on to talk about how I would be working with all 3 animals here. And then I wrote the questions. This is a combination of art journal and study journal, right? Because I have really literally taken this from the dream arc and pasted in here so that I can always refer to what the scorpion says without going into my computer. The essence of what I got from Scorpion, reading it the first 2 times, and what called to me at this moment in my life, I could look at Scorpion a year and a half from now and get a whole other message because these teachings are so vast. However, what I got, Scorpion has venom, right? Scorpion is a scary ass creature who can sting you and kill you. So, Scorpion has venom, and yet, for some bizarre reason, I am not scared of the scorpion right now. I, in fact, imagine, have any of you ever watched the story Orphan Black? It's a series that is a science fiction-y series that is about clones. But it is brilliant. This one actress, Tatiana Maslany, plays all of the clones. And she is brilliant. She is brilliant at playing all these clones. Well, my favorite clone is, now I'm not going to be able to remember her name. She is the most, what would I say? An avenging angel is the way I would put her if I was looking for an archetype. She has no problem murdering people, all right? And in fact, she was an assassin for a while. Yet she is also the most angelic of all of the clones. So when she is in the most extreme moments, she was tortured when she was young. When she is in the most extreme moments, she envisions this scorpion who talks to her, right? And the scorpion helps her as a guide. So I have this image in my mind of this scorpion talking to me and helping me. And so that's where this kindness of scorpion comes in, even though my logical mind is going, what the heck? You're okay with working with a scorpion? And yes, I am. You know, it could be this magical scorpion that this Helena is her name, Helena, has in her imagination, you know. So anyway, you know me and my tangents. Let me get back to what I pulled from the scorpion before asking any official questions, okay? So before I even went into the dive in and got the questions from Rosie, I felt from the scorpion that this might be about my body. In microdoses, toxins can work as medicine, okay? So, for instance, plant medicine, some of the most poisonous plants are used also in healing. And that's kind of how I took what was going to be happening with the scorpion and myself. These microdoses of the scorpion's venom, remember, we are dealing with a fear key here. So this venom, this toxin, these small doses of it can work to heal me. So I thought, caught that, right? I thought maybe what it was going to do is come in and say, oh yes, here's an area in your eating that you need to really inject a little toxin in and stop doing that. Or here's an area in your exercise. You got to add something to get your core stronger. Here's a little toxin, so you got to do that. That's what I thought might be happening with the scorpion. Well, then I went into the dive-in and I got that question about healing. What is the essence of the healing I'm really longing for or working on? Healing. Okay. I don't know is the answer I had. So I went and read the scorpion again with that question in mind. And the first thing that scorpion says is, where do you harbor the fear that you are not good enough? All humans carry this fear from birth. It is your journey to use this fear to grow, learn, and ultimately carve your own destiny. So where am I feeling not good enough? This is what came pouring out. My body is fat. I'm squishy. I'm out of shape. I'm not doing things to make my body healthy. I'm undisciplined in my body-mind connection. I hear in this, all those statements, a lot of other people's voices. And I don't know exactly how to pass by their voices, how to get them out of my head. I feel inferior because I've allowed those voices to affect me, to define me in ways that are not me. I adopted everyone else's idea of beauty. I adopted everyone else's idea of how to live in a body here on this earth. And I am asking, to be healed in this area, in this way of living in my body, in the way that is right for me. I am asking to heal the deep need for other people to approve of and accept me. Truly, I cannot jump through enough hoops to please everyone, and so I ask for help in giving myself the esteem I desire, to believe in myself enough to eradicate the shadow need for other people's approval. Whoa, Scorpion went in a totally different direction than I thought. I think that is a really good place to stop for this first video. And I will see you tomorrow with continued information about this particular contemplation.